Good day and welcome to the Lifestyle League. And my name is Atama Fukate. And today my guest is Vusi Leeuw. Is it Leo or Leo?
Leeuw.
Leo.
Yeah. I can say, yeah.
Are we on pause?
Yeah.
So, Bonabus.
How is it?
I'm fine, my brother.
Khona Lolo wena njani?
Today we are called Abololo. Vus, the first time I met you, you invited us to some school. You were a school teacher.
No.
Oh, no, it was not the first time. But that's when you invited us.
No.
Yo. Then you do the intro yourself. Yo,
The first time we met, I can't remember the exact point, but the next thing is you came to perform at our street bash at my home, Mfulo. Yeah.
goosebumps.
When the street bashes were starting, early days, and it was how much chance I I think, in time.
That's why I'm shocked.
Windy.
Yes.
Time, yeah. That was
You, which year was it?
oh, come now. I don't remember it.
94.
90. Oh, say up. Somewhere there.
Yo.
Somewhere there.
So AJ was few months old.
Yeah.
They know what a child is.
It wasn't even imaginable myself. You don't know what a child is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo,
And then you invited us to your school.
that was much later.
Chiki,
That was like 90, about 3-4 years later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's funny that
I corrupted the kids.
at your school.
I brought the whole of Supuna.
Because it was a model senior school and they were not just to quiet.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Parktown.
Yes. Parktown girls, Parktown something. Somewhere there. Parktown something. I just know it was. And remember, Parktown that time was Parktown. You know.
So I brought the Gussie to the Babs.
Wow. So, Vusi, I know we started this thing wrong. Obviously, I had to do that beautifully intro. But who's Vusi Leeuw?
Yo, sure. Okay, I come from a single parent family. I was born in Mfulo in 1973. And Parakwanat, so I'm a para boy. And I did my, like, obviously from crash to, I think, standard 2. I guess the new generation will get a translator to see what standard 2 is.
Yeah, standard 2, something great, something big 4, something there.
And then I was more brought up by my grandparents because my mom was staying in Devon, that's where she studied. So, and she did a teaching there. So she ended up getting a post in Devon at a township called Gwandengezi, where DJ Bongs and Pel Tusi, amongst others, come from. And so, and she was married as well. So I moved.
So your mom got married and then they left you in Soweto?
Yeah. But after, well, probably after a year. No, because I was already.
How old were you when they left you?
Yeah, I'm about 7,
7 years.
Yeah, some.
So you were that naughty child, but you don't say a lot. It's going to disturb our minutes. That's good. It's gonna talk too much.
Yeah, so then I then followed after, where I did my last parts of primary school and went
Is it Mufula South or not?
village.
Okay.
Yeah, which is others call it central, but villages. Yeah, so Mina, I grew up. There was a cinema.
Yeah, too.
Yeah, we were not using the black refuse bags.
Yeah, Papa.
And it was proper. No, these things are important.
The people must know this is. They must know that you were influenced by Bupra Gibson.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, I started watching I'm a player by Gibson at a very young age. That includes watching Abu Harari and all of that, but also watching some of the films that influenced me to come up with certain names. For example, the name Mendoza came from one of the films that I'll talk about that later, but from one of the movies that were that played.
I get to mind you are just all over the place. And in the sensible upbringing,
Yeah, and the DJ Bong's album.
no matter when nobody the voice. Bakshi, you're 7 years. And
Yeah. Yeah, no, look. Number one, I think I was a good student. Oh, yeah, and so I I passed one of my classes, and then I went to a boarding school. So yeah, so I was kicked out again
where's the boarding school?
in Devon area called Pinetown.
Yes.
It's a Catholic
Yes.
Christian school called St. Francis College. A lot of great people.
Manjin Kanu Tatapi, you are from a Catholic school, but
including Steve Biko, he was at the same school.
I like how you just throw in these things like Pintown, Para, you know, tell Chukusi.
Well, giving a direction, yeah.
We must have a sense of direction because the respect comes with the direction. Yeah.
That somehow maybe I started kind of stepping on the footsteps of great people from a young age, you know. So basically, I finished my matric there. I mean, look, I think I wasn't bad at school. I mean, amongst other things, I remember winning an essay competition. There's a book publisher called Shutter and Shooter, something like that.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah. So, and my
Don't tell me you wrote a book at that age.
no, I wrote it. It was an essay, but it was on Martin Luther King. Yeah. So, but at that age, I was even before I was. Besides that, I was politically active, but also I was reading African literature. And the only Eurocentric literature that I was reading was the compulsory books that were part of the syllabus. But otherwise, I was more into African literature, like books by Ngugi wa Thiong'o and a number of other African writers, including maybe my grandmother somewhere has to be blamed because my political exposure came from her and her sister. They had a lot of hidden banned material that was at home.
And you have a degree, right?
Yeah.
What degree?
That, my degree is a degree. It ended up being a degree in politics and industrial sociology.
Yeah, sociology mentioned.
Although, I mean, I'm likely because of the BA that I did, I was able to do, and I mean, for example, in international relations as 3S. Normally the same majors are two, but I had international relations as one of the that major, and also did law. So yeah,
So then, how do you get into music? Like, I mean, you end up in a school.
Yeah,
calling us to bashes in Mufolo. We're performing at your bashes, street bashes. Like, how do this two? Because since you've been mentioning things from the influence of AHUCM, how do you end up in this?
Look, I think there's partly in the family. There's the music blood, or let's say artistic blood. Like my mother was a very great fine artist, although she didn't take that seriously.
Hobby for her.
Yeah.
And education was when you go educated, but you go for hobbies.
Well, we'll come back to that. You know, sometimes you don't design your life. Yeah. So, but then, look, I mean, I remember probably one of the photos. Maybe I was about 3 years old or 4, where I was holding a guitar. So I didn't buy myself a guitar. So
somebody has to be blamed.
My mother is to be blamed, and maybe then she knows why. Because look, she went on to buy me keyboards.
How does a mother just buy a son a guitar though?
And that's the
They
thing.
have to at 7, but they buy a guitar.
Yeah, I mean, look, by the time I think I was 12, 13, I had a proper Yamaha keyboard.
Yeah. The one with drums, like.
Yeah.
So that one.
I started.
Yeah, what that thing is. It's a Yamaha or a Casio, no?
No, proper. Casio was
for us. So, and I couldn't even afford a Casio, by the way. I would always go test it in the shops. You press that thing, it's got samba.
But the Casio ended up in the tents, you know, churches, you know.
Yeah.
That the sound that is like it's as if the batteries are finishing. I was yeah, like as if it's running.
No, the drums, how they sound. Yeah, no, that was like
and that sounds like the battery needs to be changed. So yeah, so basically I started luckily when we bought the keyboard, they were also, for when you're buying that keyboard, they were offering music class, like lessons to play. So I started learning how to play, but I didn't finish. All right.
No one
finishes. Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I also tried to learn a guitar, you know. But I'll confess, I think my fingers are not long enough. So I used to have a problem, you know, that I'll hold everything, but this finger, the small finger, will struggle to hold a chord. And that's how me and guitar parted. Yeah, so but basically, I mean, even at school, at boarding school, I was besides participating in plays, but I had call it a group. It was about, I think it was about 4 of us, and then I played piano, like the.
Didn't you have this challenge of being in a group and sometimes you guys want to rehearse, but the interests are not just the same. The passion is not the same. You have to wait for this one guy and maybe he plays drums or something and you guys can't rehearse because of that guy.
No, for us it was different because we're in boarding school.
Oh, yes.
So some of those times are precious times. If you miss it, you know, because it was more about the books and like sports more than like music. So when we had a chance to sneak in in the piano room, you know, and then obviously when the school concerts,
so you didn't do music, but you rehearsed music, you learned music, and you got classes.
Yeah,
and
a little bit.
How do you end up at 999?
So before that,
because the only thing I know is that after that invitation at that school, that's when we found a way of working together. But I don't know how you planned that mission.
No, there's a guy called Atama Fukate. I think that guy was a little bit part of a problem. Because I think
But the problem was caused because when you called that guy to come perform at your school, you actually gave him his first award. If you still remember, you gave us the certificate.
Yeah.
We were so excited getting a certificate, like thank you from Parktown, what school, and we're from Ekasi, and then you're getting all these things from a Model C school.
Yeah.
I must look at my documents, but I know that you gave us certificates, and thank you for that. That inspired us. I think it was me, Abashante, I can't remember.
Everyone might get
Yes, new school.
Yeah, our dates,
yes.
the whole of Triple Nine.
Yes, you gave us certificate.
Yeah, but I wasn't working for Triple Nine at the time.
Yes.
And I think I forgot that part because I think we'll each remind each other of certain
as we go
things,
along.
you know. But the funny part is, and maybe this is more touchy. I don't know if I should be talking about it now, but I'll talk about it now because you raised the certificate. You know, the only recognition I've had in this industry wasn't at Triple Nine.
You. That's sad. And one of the reasons
which was my early years as well. It was my early years. That was before everything that.
You want to tell me you have contributed so much for this industry, and the only award you got was that one?
Yeah.
At that big nightclub, it was the biggest nightclub in Africa.
Yeah.
I still have those pictures. We had the Triple Nine Awards.
Yeah. And it was about 96 or so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
That's scary.
As the best manager at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. So yeah. That's the only, and it's still in at my mother's house.
And
it's in
that time you deserve to get a lifetime achievement. And I've seen people get lifetime achievements. And I'm not going to discredit anyone, but I think you deserve one.
Well,
but people must understand how you deserve it. So you need to take us through your life so that people understand you worked for Triple Nine, you did what you did, and what, like, just take us through.
Okay, so basically, I think part of how we connected was while I was at Vets, I was also a DJ, a campus radio DJ, and that I used to. I ended up doing Voice of Vets.
Voice of Vets,
yes, Voice of Vets, yeah.
Is it still existing?
Yeah, it now has a license.
Yes.
And then back then we pirated the airwaves and we fought for community radios to be recognized and have a license. And there, I mean, how many campuses now have radio stations that are licensed that are broadcasting to the communities? Yeah, so at that time, so when I got to Vets, the library was largely white, all right? And I, besides that, the station was also largely white. There were very few black guys. And my show was called African Flames. So I was playing African music from your Yusondo to Morekante to Abdullah Ibrahim, your Brakefas, Bayete, Zwakembuli, Kamazu. And I'm mentioning some of these people because for the first time they came to a campus radio for an interview. It was through me. They were not even aware that there's...
And those are big giants.
Yeah, and Mam Yvonne. So, and at the time, you must understand, I was not coming to the music industry. It was probably this nursing this passion, Yana, without being aware. But then it ended up taking me back.
I'm dying to hear how did they recruit you? How did you convince me?
Yes,
but from the awards you gave.
Actually, you recruited me. I've never applied for a job.
How did I? What?
So outside the campus stuff, I was a DJ as well, and I used to come collect music at Triple Nine,
yes,
amongst other labels. And
but you must tell people that Triple Nine was a flat, mere flat in Hillpo. As much as it was respected, it was just a mere flat.
For sure.
I mean, everybody came to
one-bedroom flat.
Yeah, no, it was two men. Sugar, one bedroom because
the studio. This bedroom. Yeah, and then office.
By the way, guys, that's where the Brenda Fassie album was also recorded, amongst others.
Yeah. And actually, most of the catalog, the Triple Nine catalog. So, I came. So, as I used to come to get samples, and at the same time, I used to still go to Durban, and Kwaito was still in Joburg, and So I remember the other time I came with my friend Jakes.
Yes.
We used to be co-producers. We used to do demos and stuff. Yeah. So then you gave me.
You used to not live somewhere, some videos, isn't it? Hey, you guys.
So you gave me some vinyls, to say, oh no, since you're going to Durban, take more of these vinyls,
So always a marketer.
No, for sure. I'll come to that part. So basically, I think me and Adama Fukate working together, or the relationship, it didn't start as a formal thing, but we built it. It automatically built itself, through that situation where I'm sampling, and I got you. I mean, I must say, not that we had money.
We didn't have money.
Yeah.
We never had anything.
I don't know about you, because you already had a hot single.
Yeah,
But I mean, no.
the fact of the matter
You're not as.
I was charging 50 rand.
Artist.
Moved from 50 rand to 150 to 500. I know I was always leading in these charges, but
I'm not talking about Mr. Soweto.
Yeah.
No. I'm a Jensaya Panda. The whole Vorvai was already happening together with, if you remember, Dr. House, Nkwisheng.
Yes.
Those were the underground singers.
28 Nespam.
Yeah, 28 Nespam. And ICAS was not easy at the time. These were the times of Umrembuli, So the music was not just, it was real. It was talking about our real experiences, And the fact that you came to our street bash when I invited you, trust me, that was our first street bash, number one. And me and my friends, the late Cooper and some of the guys, we put together money, we hired a tent, we printed bars.
Those bashes, Maravus. What was going through people's minds that time?
I mean, I must be grateful to my grandmother to not even to complain that I was gone. And actually my neighbors, like in the same street, that they didn't complain, number one, and that they allowed this to happen. Because who provided sound? The person who provided sound was an old man at the time who did sound, but his company was called SOS.
SOS is still existing.
The company, or
those boys.
Yes, but the thing is, those boys at that time, that's why I'm trying to get to.
Do you even know SOS?
That those boys,
those guys.
One of the young boy who the father left to DJ on assist us with the sound, was a guy who later, at that time he was just a young kid, but it's a guy who later got, his name is Temba.
Yes, but just Senyak.
He got to be DJ Walker.
Yes, DJ Walker.
Yeah. So basically, at that street bash,
I had SOS.
I had Adama Fugate. I had Sons of Soweto. Because remember, they became a group. You remember that?
They were the biggest.
That SOS. SOS. And DJ Walker, So I always say, I never designed my life, but God has been the one, in leading. Look, what I've been through in terms of my life.
Do you even remember the first phone number you had?
No, which one?
The 082 number. Are you aware that's the number I'm using now? It was your phone.
Serious?
Yes. I even thought you were going to say the 082 number that I'm using.
My cell phone was from...
Guys, the 082 number that you're calling every day belonged to Vusi in 1994, if not 95.
Yeah, I think when people see me, they say I'm always on the phone. I think they must blame that number.
Yeah.
Because that number was everything. It was the office. It was for...
And remember, you became so good and you wanted us to buy you a car. We didn't even know the processes of buying somebody.
Yeah, not because I needed
buy around, know how to buy a car for somebody, an employee.
Yeah.
It's so sad how black
Probably it's still somewhere around here.
the car.
Yeah.
No, it got sold. But yeah, we did that car there. But oh man, sold it too.
Yeah, I should have bought it.
The Corona,
Yeah, I'm not Tez. Oh, the Tez. Now they're gonna want to sell it at 2 million. You know, but basically that's how we like started working, you know. And obviously the next time I invited you, because you had honored the first invite, was at the school. It was a school concert, you know. And the kids never thought somebody like, you know, of that magnitude could come to their school, you know. And yeah, because look, I was a good boy. You never tell that
you'd end up where we are.
no, I was in the music, like that. I knew some people, you know, who met had like Abu Atama Fukate, you know, at that time. So when they came, yeah, I mean,
So you came, you worked
most
with us.
memorable
We
bands.
made hits,
Yeah.
and obviously you got stolen from us by CCP, EMI. Didn't you leave us? You went to CCP, right?
No.
I went to CCP.
I was stolen by BMG.
BMG's.
Actually, let me put it this way.
No, man.
No. I was stolen.
BMG before CCP.
Yeah, I was stolen by TKZ. At that time,
I'm saying
at that time they were not. They were like nobody.
it was just BMG, in fact, not even Sony BMG.
Yeah, it was BMG. Yeah, at that time. But they came to my house because myself and Sbu, we come from the same neighborhood. And we did.
Amaloy.
Yeah.
You know that I stayed with Spoo.
Sbu is another person who must come here. You know, because yeah, he was
not the show with Kelelo.
I mean, he was way ahead. I mean, I also first met Masilela too through Smooth, you know, after they'd finished doing Tiki Tiki, you know. So I actually worked with Smooth on I'm a lawyer, but I was working at 999. And
then I wait to go create hits for another.
No. It was
Credits are coming up. The studio working, you go do hits for us.
The small studio I had a small studio in my bedroom. So the people having bedroom studios now, it's not like we had the small studios and we had a bigger studio, but we had a small studio, and me and Jakes were co-producers. We were trying to put things together, and so I couldn't go to the studio at CSR when Sbu had to go lay vocals. All right. So what I did was then to say to him, I can't because I'm going to work. We
you remember what
played that song in the morning. No, I don't remember.
Creative Sound Recordings.
Is it?
Yes. The demo that won me the first competition when I won.
Was that the Coca-Cola?
Yes. I recorded at CSR.
Yeah.
History, Baba.
Actually, funny enough, I think at that time, obviously, when you won that, I read about you. I never thought I will meet you. Even the Mr. Soweto, you know. But I also used to see you at ShareWorld as Brenda's dancer. At some point, I don't know if you were playing keyboards for her, but you were part of the band.
Yes, we were there with them.
Yeah. So it was funny that maybe call it what I kind of maybe later must admit I had. Not that I saw the talent in you, but I've been able to follow, talent. That's why I remember you as a dancer when we didn't know each other. You don't know that when we were at ShareWorld, somebody else was watching, you know?
So no, it's like that. So you are at BMG and then Sbu makes you meet TKZ.
No. I was at 999.
Oh, so you were only sneaking out. No, like the sneaking out story.
No, not really. But so I said to him on that day, look, I'll get you someone who understands exactly what I do as well. because
What's matter when our tell?
no,
It means we could have had TKZ.
hold on.
So good.
Actually, you could have had more.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I want you to go through so that people understand who Vusi is. Why did I go recruit this teacher?
Yeah.
Because this teacher always had a vision. This teacher was thinking differently
I don't know.
from the rest of the people I knew. You know, that's why I went to recruit this teacher.
I'm trying to blush. I don't know if I'm succeeding. Yeah. So with
You get CKZ, you make them compete with me for Oi Oi.
no, before that is so I introduced him Jakes to Sbu, that they go to the studio because whatever that we are rehearsing, he will help him in the studio then, you know? That's how Munati Fela later came about. And that's how the relationship between Sbu and Jalifa that is still strong today.
Yeah.
That's how it came about. All right. But now he comes then with these three guys. Hey, they come into my house. They came around 5 p.m.
You know, Sbu is a deal maker.
So they came around 5 p.m. You know, I was coming back from my work at
from 999. Yes, people must know the truth.
Yeah, at 999. 999.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so this guy.
Marvus, you killed us, man.
I didn't kill you. You killed
Who could be?
So these guys are begging me, you know, to say no, man. You know, we are trying music, and we've released an album. It was
Yeah, because they had yes. You did play me that thing though. You did play me that thing. Yes, I remember.
Early days,
Yes.
you know. So and I got it from Sbu.
Yes.
That's how I got to know that. And
you even brought it to me.
Please, how can we work with you?
Yes.
I was like, hey, I'm working at 999. And it was
hey, that Kolikanga, yo.
It was more like, look, the only way is if you guys gonna be able to pay me, you know. They say we'll go talk to our company. That's how. But before TKZ, we worked on Stitch.
Yes. Everybody come
Yeah. I mean everybody else was when I got to 999. Majority of the stars were already signed. You know, the only one that we signed together was Stitch, but that means not the only one. You sent me to go chase Zombo.
Yes.
I don't know how you met, I don't know how you met him, but his school was
next to the
Hillbrow,
yes.
And
but you know, with Stitch, we had to compromise, ne?
Yeah.
People don't know this. You remember it had to be Stitch or Thiwe and Klantla Mafikizolo.
Is it?
Yes. Remember? No, Thiwe and Klantla came to us. And there was Stitch, and they are from the same cast.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But by then, Raga is big.
Yeah.
Thiwe can do Raga. Klantla sings. And,
is it?
You know, we went for Stitch. And check where Mafikizolo is today. We miss TKZ, we miss Mafikizolo.
Not necessarily. I mean, you know, sometimes things happen for a reason.
Yeah, I always say that maybe they wouldn't do this.
I mean, there was Matuba.
Yes,
you remember?
Yeah, Matuba was with. People don't even know. She
was at the music, the art school.
Yes,
you know, and you sent.
She even taught with us, ne? When we were doing it. Oh, we went
during holidays.
East London and whatever. Yeah. And when she came back, she said, Papa Ari, I must do gospel. You remember, we were saying, yo, we believed in Matuba, yo.
I mean, she was what? She was in probably grade 10.
Yes, somewhere
there. Yeah, she was
a brilliant
matric. So, so I think, look, I think in terms of my period at 999, I always say, you know, there is pop, radio pop.
Yes.
And you know, radio pop and pop TV, the best were taught there.
Yeah.
All right. And there's
School of Broadcasting there.
Yeah, and then there's 999.
Yeah, later was saying that in one of the interviews that you go there, it's like the school of this industry.
Because, I mean, number one, I tell people that when I started in this industry, I was doing I was handling 5 jobs that are supposed to be handled by 5 people. And that partly built the person that I am today. Thank you. Because I think you keep on saying other people are not recognized, but then people don't know that you're not just a maestro from a music point, but this business, this game. Because I was label manager, I was road manager, I was
marketer,
booking agent. I was everything you can think of. I still tell people that Monday I'll come to work. That's the record company, right? I'm handling the whole record company. Meeting with record labels. At that time we were with CCP, so we're having meetings with CCP on the plans and all the official administration stuff of what happens in a record company. And yes, at the same time, calls are ringing for bookings for the weekend. Come Friday, all right. So when I leave,
and we still have to go to gigs.
when I leave home on Friday, I'll back on Sunday.
And people can't know those things.
Because after, depending on where we're going, but roughly after 12, we're starting to prepare. Sometimes we're not going to the same direction. Cars are going to different gigs. But I also then play a road manager part, and we are on the road. Saturday,
At what point?
Sunday.
At what point, Vusi, do you say, staff 999, I need to grow bigger?
No, it wasn't like stuff 999. I think it was I needed to learn more. Because from an indie, you can learn, but with majors, you have the international exposure.
But also, those guys were offering you more money. Remember, we
could. No, most definitely. Yeah, no,
I still believe if we could compete financially, when you are running a label at that point, the question is, do I invest more in employees or do I invest more in growing the company? It has always been a dilemma. So it was always going to be difficult for us.
But part of growing the company could be investing in employees.
Yes. But remember, you are not trained to be a businessman.
No, for sure. No, look, I mean, you did too.
And
it's not easy.
Most of us independent companies, and that should be a lesson. Sometimes people think Nota is crazy, but there's too much wisdom.
Not sure.
With what
Nota depends how it comes out.
Yes, and also because he knows too much up to a point where he just talks.
Well, sometimes maybe I think I'll disagree with you in terms of he knows too much, because sometimes he thinks he knows and say wrong things about people as well, which are not facts.
Yes.
That's why if you know well, then you would know what to say and what not to say. Otherwise, the young man,
honestly speaking,
does think, he's got a lot in terms of from an intelligence part and understanding the business.
Yeah, because the fact that we failed to keep, look at the people 999 produced.
Look, it was the late Impo, it's Popano, it's
Tyson. Yeah. Now it's Joe's Entertainment.
Yeah, it's a whole lot.
Like, imagine if
actually even some where they might have not been full-time inside, but they had relations. Some in Bloemfontein, and
open mic. Also helped us achieve certain goals. So I'm saying if you could have afforded to pay all those people and keep them, how far could we?
But it was different challenges, which are still there today.
Exactly why I mentioned Nota, because those challenges are happening. And whenever he speaks, he mentions us as an example of why the indies in this country are failing to achieve what we're supposed to achieve. How do we solve that problem?
But also,
you've worked for majors more than you worked for indies.
Yeah.
You worked for Sony BMG.
Yeah.
You worked for
No, I worked for Sony. Actually, I started my internship at Sony. I worked for BMG. I'm avoiding putting them as one because of that.
Yeah, they were separated. Sony, it's BMG.
Then it was EMI. And then Fast Track later, I consulted for Universal.
Universal.
Yeah.
You worked for Warner.
I worked for Warner.
These are major labels.
And I consult for Sony Publishing, amongst others.
It's major label.
Almost definitely. Look, I worked at
Yes.
all of them. Yeah.
You know, and I'm saying, imagine had we been smarter to retain such talent.
Look, I agree, but I don't think the word smarter though is the word, because again, if black businesses are us, for example, what we're doing for the government, especially at the time, the employment that you created for a lot of young people, all right?
We couldn't even get funded.
But there was no funding. Exactly. There was no one who says, you know what, these kids, what they are doing, especially for us as a new government, that we know that we had a slogan in the past of freedom now, education later. And some of the kids didn't go to, didn't end up not.
I was able to say, Vusi, my mate, can never
A lot of you guys.
I passed Nje by sheer luck because I had to work hard after. But I know that we said freedom now,
Education later.
I believe that.
Yeah, no.
And also it shaped the person that I am because I knew I had to work hard because it was a slogan in our time.
And even if you wanted to go to class, you were not gonna do that because Abosanyova, Bebe Corner, take you out of class and all of that. So it's part of the price that we pay. So we created jobs, whether for people who became drivers, you know, to people who were dancers, besides just the main artists, all right? Which later, with all those, whether it was street bashes or it was festivals, the young people were being employed. You know, some went into sound, and some later ended up owning sound systems for festivals because Kwaito showed them the way. And actually it also liberated artists because those who came before us were signed to record labels. They were not independent until 999 and until Okalawa came up.
And the strangest thing, you remember when just a moment before they started recruiting or infiltrating us,
yeah,
we did what they now call the 360-degree deal.
No, for sure.
And they were saying we are ripping off artists.
But it
The
was
very same record labels are the ones doing it now. And because we were not educated about things like infiltration and how you can find a way, we didn't understand the business language, which is what our kids are struggling with now, not understanding business. And I always say to young people, rather learn business now, fail now than later.
No, for sure. No,
because they had to infiltrate us and make us not see the vision, the bigger vision.
Yeah.
I mean, Vusi, I don't think, as much as I needed you then, I don't think it would have clicked in my mind that I should either, if not interested in giving you shares, form something with you so that you don't leap. Yeah. That can.
No, most definitely.
We didn't think that.
Definitely. But the sad part for me was when what I learned from 999, I still have it. All right. When I moved and went to BMG, the knowledge that everything that I learned from 999, I took it with me. All right.
But you know what's the sad thing?
Yeah.
And I'm interrupting you here.
Mm-hmm.
You learn those things not having money in your pocket.
Yeah, sure.
Right? You get recruited by these people that say to you, we are going to increase your salary. Right? And they said, we also
and other budget and medical aid.
Yes, all those things. Remember, that's how they were catching you guys.
Medical
aid. They were talking about those things, and we didn't know that language. And then they recruit you and they say, we also have this budget because they were releasing
No,
international
they had a
artists.
budget, yeah.
But when you get there, because you're trying to impress, you're still using the same strategy that you learned at Triple Nine of not spending too much money,
Oh, for sure.
saving the money. Yeah, and that money could have been invested.
Look,
Something else that could have empowered.
look,
But we were
no, no, it wasn't. It wasn't that. It wasn't that. Trust me, I think you're being hard on yourself and us. But let me give you one sad part. Yeah, this is one of your breaking stories. So when TKZ was big, I mean, obviously we started from scratch. And this was after, before Halloween album, but we had already started working on the Halloween album. This was after Shibobo and the World Cup and what it did. I said to the guys, because again, when I was doing a 999, I started doing, weekends I would go. So I was doing whole marketing with the guys, but weekend I was road managing, you know. So I remember in one trip, it was one of the longest trips. We drove from Durban. We had a gig at Litlamoreng Dam in Mafikeng. Yeah.
It's like 8 hours or something.
I mean, this is part of the part. I think part of the trips that made me feel like, okay, I've done my share in road management. I must just stay at home and other people do that. Because I remember we passed our homes. I mean,
yeah, that's why we're saying it's 9 hours
of that
basically.
time,
Yes,
it's
9 hours.
Yeah, trying to get, but you can't even stop and change bags for new clothing. You have to go straight because of time. So in that, this is where during that trip, this is where TKZ Records was
Formulated.
All right, taking it from how 999 was working with CCP. All right, how you as a mastermind, were able to fund your company, through those companies.
That's when you were starting to think of doing the.
Yes. No. I was doing it.
Still getting inspired by that guy.
No. It's always been, like I say, that's why doing all this, working one for 999, being an indie. I mean, actually, we're in a small environment where there isn't enough manpower. You get to learn more. That's the best place to learn, because you are forced to do almost everything. There's no job description that just says you are only here and that's the end, So for me, all of that trained me to be who I am today,
So who owned TKZ Records?
And TKZ Records was owned by TKZ. All right. The sad part, and that's how I
had
and that's
stars
how
on
I
the
left.
first album.
And no, I left before that.
Okay.
I left before
the TKZ family album.
Yes. Because of at that time when we were formulating this during the trip, yes, your Hwaiza were there, but they were not yet full artists, in terms of, there was no record label under TKZ. It was Majida, who bloomed together and somehow record in some of the songs. One of your discoveries, Mahe was there as well. Dr. Mahe Sbu was there. So for me, I looked at it as, isiZulu sithi angeke ube ney'nkunzi eziningi esibayeni esisodwa, so you can't have all the balls in one crowd. And I said to the guys, look guys, number one, because Gas Kitchen was already there. The guys that were already working from the studio was called Gas Kitchen. And it was like, let's start the record label. I will run the record label.
You, Vusi.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And I was running 999. At BMG, I was label manager, running actually a label. So, I mean, I had enough experience. And so I was saying, like, I will run the record label and you guys will do your part, which is being producers, artists and all. So let's do this. On Monday, remember this was weekend. On Monday, when I get to the office, I'm going to speak to Dave. Dave was our boss that time, my boss at the time. I'll set up an appointment. When you go there, you tell him that you want to start TKZ Records. All right?
Yeah. Because you kind.
Yeah.
You're comfortable.
Yeah. But because I knew my power at BMG at the time, and my relationship with Dave, I had done a lot for them. I mean, I took TKZ. We were selling platinum, like, every album or EP or single we released. And that's besides other groups that I worked on. Like, if you remember, there was Killer Joe Records, Jonin and Brare as well, amongst others. I said, look, I know that they won't let me go. So I will support and tell them that I will handle both jobs. I will work for them.
Was to
and
use the TKZ budget to launch
TKZ Records. Yeah. But not only TKZ budget. Because remember, as a label manager, they trusted in me.
Yeah, they budget too.
And I was still promoting. So that means we were gonna cut on overheads. All right. I told them that because we're starting, my salary will come from BMG. All right. I will only
our plane from
exactly what you were doing at CCP. That's what I'm saying, because I saw it was working, and I was not even at CCP at that time, but the way you were doing it, it was working,
So tell me, do you work with TKZ and then WHP after, or WHP happened in between?
No, it was TKZ before. I'll tell you. So we agree with the guys. I set up the appointment, but I tell Dave that we want to launch TKZ Records. All right. In our trip, I told the guys, I mean, that time, that's why I say don't blame yourself too much. All right. We're not as business savvy. We were more passionate about what we were doing. All right. But obviously, the consciousness in some of us, the political consciousness, was also saying we need to build our own. All right. Which is what you were doing. We needed to build more. So I say, you'll give me 2% share in TKZ Records.
You say to who?
TKZ. First, I say to TKZ. During the trip.
2%.
Exactly. That's why I say.
Like it's nothing.
It does, but remember, we were kids as well. For me, that 2% was a lot.
2% from me.
You didn't understand. Actually, I wasn't even at that. As number one, no. Number one,
way ahead of you.
You had already built your company. Yeah. So I was not going to come in and ask for shares.
You can.
Well,
if you know your power.
No, at that time. All right. So here we're starting from scratch. All right. Then we all agree. Then I set up the meeting. I tell Dave that the guys, what I've negotiated with the guys is that I'll have 2% over ownership of the company. But I'm not going to leave BMG. Because remember, they still benefit compared to them losing the record label to another.
And they are hard and I'm sure white people agree. 2% was nothing.
He didn't have a problem. You know what he said? Let me hear it from them. I'm a cheetah figure. When they came to my office, and I know everything the same way we spoke. I presented it that way. And they went in. When they come back, when they finished, they were no longer coming. So the office at BMG was like an oval.
Is it the one at next to Betts University?
Next to Betts, no. The one that was next to SAPC.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one.
No, Metal Box is a bit further from Auckland Park.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still Auckland Park, but you remember by the Joburg Country Club, you know the old Joburg Country Club.
Yeah. Why says they did move there?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was,
Oh yes, they went to there.
so it was an oval shape. So I was on the right hand of the right hand side, and Dave's office was on the left, but right at the corner. All right. So much that they came to me, and I was like, sure, done, let's do this. And then they go to the meeting, and they come back, and then they come out of the meeting, they don't come back to my side.
But don't you think
They go to, I don't know what happened. Up to now, we've never discussed it fully.
I must
But
you must
yeah, he must tell us.
Yes.
And but also why though? It will be interesting, I'll tell you why. So they go out the other way. Yeah? And it happened that I was at the reception. So I'm like, gents. And so, I don't know, Sharp, Dave is calling you. We've spoken to him. I get to the office. Dave tells me, yeah, no, we spoke to the guys. No, yeah, it's true. You know, what you were telling me, they want, but your part, no. And that time, like I said, we were preparing to drop Halloween. The album was done. And then I decide, again, God comes and CCP comes. Sean Watson gives me a call. We want to start a label, a development label to develop future stars. We've got Arthur, we've got Brenda, we have all these great artists, your Ringos and all, but we don't have a succession plan. We think you are the guy who can do this. So that time, I had met Isaac Eugene Mtetwa, Isaac Mtetwa,
Yes.
the late Eugene's brother. Then he came with a demo, all right. And when I listened, he was looking for a deal, but he also had this kid that he had a demo, like 2 songs or so. And for me, it was like, Sharp, we will do it. But at that time, I was waiting for this TKZ situation.
So you got angry after the TKZ situation?
Look, yeah. For me, look, I was disappointed.
Yes.
In my black brothers as black people.
And I would say also CCP was also disappointed in us also as 999 not wanting to be fully there.
Yeah, okay, then they say the created.
The best way to do that is to take the very same people that were part of Yama.
So I then, so when Sean called me and look, I was like, okay, Sharp, the sad part for me was the fact that
obvious because
you might no, look, I mean, number one, I was a graduate. I was supposed to be doing law, but I was supposed to be corporate.
You was the one.
I mean, look, you didn't have this if it wasn't about money, eh? Or you got donations.
But that doesn't mean you must just run away.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't run away. Look. No, I'm saying.
Don't try and trick me. I'm speaking. You negotiate. You just disappear.
No, I didn't disappear. I called them. I said, gents, Dave tells me that you guys, that part of me being with you, you said no, and we left it there. So when that call came in, I decided it was a very difficult decision because here we had an opportunity. Remember, as TKZ, we broke a lot of ground, crossing over and all. And here we had an opportunity to build something that is black owned, that is massive. All right. And I mean, when you think there was Loiso, there was Khwaiza, everyone around us, even Smoo was with Universal, but we were planning on bringing him to TKZ Records, And on the other hand, yes, I had not told the guys I had double HP that I was signing. He was not WHP at the time. All right. He was Java. And for me, I then decided, you know what? It's said that as black people, we can't build together. Now, white people are calling me to come and do what I was saying we must do as black people. And I left. There, I had Java, obviously, in branding him, called him WHP, had Fistas. I had the late TK. I had, but then I had one of our old friends, 999 Jeff. But Jeff had a group. He was signed to CCP, I think, at the time. But he had a group. I was looking for a gospel act, and I wanted to go into the ZCC market. So it was a group. He created a group called Koshai Hot for me. All right, which went. But the long and short of it is, I mean, you can imagine there was Mendoza. Think what came out of CCP2. And that could have been under a black company. And but I also laugh because I think that they were lucky, because there was a time when I was coming with big vengeance because I had Mendoza, Tukulu. Hold on. I had Java.
We are having Chiscop.
Yeah.
We don't want them to fight because when I was recording Chiscop, the first album,
yes,
Mendoza was not a lead singer. And I'm saying to them, I'm trying to find a way of convincing the boys. Remember, they were 5 at least. We were 5. This Pure never made it. He had his own other things. So, and somehow he was sabotaged. I had to have a meeting for about 2 to 3 hours to convince them to make Mendoza a lead singer. So we have built...
But that was in the early days.
Yes,
yeah.
We have built Chiscop. Yes, but
yeah.
I'm trying to say we built Chiscop around Mendoza.
Yeah, okay.
And we still have Chiscop.
Sure.
And Vusi was within us. He knows that we love Chiscop, but we want Mendoza to lead Chiscop. And we do an album.
But he was leading already. No, he was leading already.
He was leading already. Yeah, do an album. Remember, we did 6 feet. We didn't put him as Mendoza, but 6 feet is Mendoza's best album.
Is it? I don't remember that word.
That's you stole him after 6 feet.
And
6 feet was becoming popular.
But then I was not aware of that.
Yeah, no.
At that time, because remember it was after
6 feet.
It was after a couple of years I'd left.
So those people were scared to put him out there because we're trying to balance him not running away from the group. And here you are. Obviously, you've got white money, you can pay, you take Mendoza.
No, look, for me, it was like, look, we want you to start a label for us. And for me, yes, I had that open check, all right? And
that's what I'm talking about. That's what destroyed most of us. That open check that they gave to Black.
No, look, it wasn't. If you think about it, we were all building because at the
you're not helped. We wouldn't have had in Kalagata. White people now understand quite because of those mistakes.
No, a whole lot of things.
These things happen for a reason, Vusi.
No, for sure. We were expanding.
God is not a fool.
We were expanding. You had Lindelani doing his part, Kalawa, you guys, and others, but we were pushing, But what was happening is that, so when I went for him, all right, so it was him, because I wanted to do a Kwaito act. And for me, it was like, the guy that I know has got potential, it's Ndu, Mendoza at that time. And so I decided to get him because Chiscop was at CCP by the time I got there. But that album was...
what I don't understand, how the ethics were. I mean, we take artists there, we take you guys there. They find a way of cutting us into two. That's what I'm saying. Not under...
No. It's us not communicating. You see, like they said,
yes,
that whole thing of...
Because we took...
I don't have the money, maybe, that, that can satisfy you. But whether it's a commission or,
But
On top
ethically,
of what
it's
I'm
just
giving you, there's a
confusing.
commission.
We take this up there. They know you through us, but they talk to you guys direct to go create something else outside us, but we're still going there. I think it's the desperation of not having budgets, which is what
No, it's all part of that. Look, even today, I mean, think about it. Besides that, I always say, how many black artists in South Africa that you know that have ever said they've been robbed by a white person?
No one.
It's always a black person, and it doesn't make sense. Actually, when you go to the history,
And more especially when you start to understand what
white companies, white people, those small companies then with the smaller labels, they are the ones who are guilty of a lot of our legends that are penniless today. But no one is questioning them. No one is saying, let's have a truth and reconciliation.
about the music industry or
about the music industry and the ills that today even the current government has now to take care of, because now they have to bury some people and all, when the people who have those masters are sitting nicely.
But also, you are also part to blame because you are the president of the South African music industry. Casual. You are the president, and you are sitting here with me. You are saying part of the people to be blamed are so and so, and government is not doing so and so. Who's got the powers to talk to government? Who's the president?
Look, we are addressing things.
I'm just a mere.
We just have our own challenges, partly as a black nation, of everybody wanting to lead, and not especially in the music industry, the politics of the stomach, where people end up losing the vision. The fact that actually, if we're working together, we are the majority. We could be even owning more. We could be doing far better. We have that potential. We have the brains and all of that. But people fight for nothing, and hence we are failing people currently. But luckily, because some of us, like yourself and myself and others, we are able to our work and influence in helping to try and change the industry, which we've been doing all along, has been through our own networks and our own thinking, because you didn't build 999 because somebody was telling you what to do, it was your vision and all, the same thing, some of the things that I did, I mean, this comes to, for example, the album 925 Zola South. I came up with that, and how I drafted the name, because for me, this was at a time when Zola had this negative thing about it. Komshaya Zafe, when people see a young person who comes from, actually anybody who comes from Zola, they were always, the first thing they were labeled as Tutsis. Even beautiful ladies from Zola, they would not get out ngaphandle because the out thinks with you, ngizongena kanjani eZola, so it was all of that, and 95 Zola South was, yes, it was borrowing the American slang for a job, 9 to 5, but it was to say there are people from Zola South or from Ezola, who earn a living in an honest way.
So, Vusi, a person watching this at the moment, they're seeing this great guy who has helped so many people, but somehow at that point when he was helping, he's linked to this major labels.
Yeah.
What kind of recognition did you get from them? Because if I'm looking at Power the Bitter person, I was going to say he was a sellout. So I'm trying to sit here and say, what do you?
You know what I gained? Being able to change our people's lives.
Okay.
Because I was able to make the change that we did. When you think of Mendoza, just out of Mendoza alone, where he comes from. He was able to build a house for his mother, you know. He was able, but besides that, all the other guys that were next to him or his friends, they had jobs, whether it's drivers, dancers. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So for me, it was about that. I was able to use that platform to change lives. I mean, I took somebody from Gwandingis, you know, which was a township that was not appearing in the map, if I was to call it that, you know, um, where people go to Durban and people will know about Umlazi, you know, Kwamashu and all these places. But when you say, do you know one thing is, it's like, no, you understand? Until there was DJ Bongs, Sovabil, which became a national anthem, all right? That it made, I want to always believe that with the success of an artist, there's some kid who might not be an artist, but they see somebody who comes from their hood, you know? They believe that they can also be somebody. The same thing we did with Zola. Look at today, everybody wants to go to Zola to see what kind of a place it was. It changed from being Kamshaya Zafe.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
If you were to just mention the artists whose lives you have touched,
The too many.
mention them.
Sure. All right. Besides Mendoza, besides WHP, because through WHP, we introduced myself and Java, brought on board Bafitlile, which is Kulichana, you know. We gave those guys a platform. Besides even your Tasso, that's the Northwest as an example. Just a few that I'm talking about it from that I can remember from Northwest. But there was also another young man called Ipiling, you know, from Northwest. I gave that person and that young man and also an opportunity that changed his life up to today. Sure. I mean, look, even TKZ themselves, man. I mean, you know, when you think today, Kabelo's a pastor, you know? I mean, you know, when you think from where
How
was his,
convince Kabelo to do a solo out of TKZ?
yeah, that's
And because my next question was, you said, remember when I said, don't you think you're a sellout? And you said, as long as you changed lives. And for somebody, it might be interpreted this way that you can actually steal from the poor and go boost other poors on behalf of the majors or the whites. I'm just putting that's what I'm saying. How would you interpret it? I want you to defend yourself because somebody might say, Marusile, bekathathela abantu abamnyama and taking these people there. Yes, he was changing people's lives, but
look, I think it's not that. I think it's more than anything. Let me give an example. You know, when for Kabelo to go solo, it was not even my idea. All right.
wow.
Yeah. It was his idea. No, it was his idea. Things were bad. TKZ was fighting. He had also his own drug problems, and. So at that time, he was on, like on his lowest. Because remember, people who used to say in TKZ, the only talented people was Tukulo and may his soul rest in peace and Zwei. All right. And when he came to me, he was in a very bad position. He also needed money, serious money. And he didn't send a demo or anything. He came to me at Mfana, you know, get better and the Minanamachita for now we're not doing anything, you know. So I was thinking of going solo.
I always thought it was your concept. Wow.
No, it was him. What I did was to give him his first instrumental, which was a cover. Like it was
Yeah, that one you could tell. The
instrument.
I like that one. I knew it. The influence there, I could tell.
Yeah. So basically, I produced that song. You know, it's just that I like with all my work. You know, I co-produced a whole lot of, most of these people I co-produced, but I didn't take anything because as well, this came from the people who were before us, A&Rs who were before us. Back in the day, apparently they used to be like, for you to get a deal, you're gonna put me as a producer and composer and stuff like that. And some became famous as producers when they actually did nothing.
And you were trying to scrap that notion, basically.
Yeah, I was trying to remove that. And the fact that people must be judged on their talent, not on the basis of the fact that they're bribing.
What would you say are your regrets about the industry?
Look, it becomes difficult. Sometimes I feel like I don't regret, all right? Because I don't know, I don't think I'm convincing myself, all right?
Remember that you also had
but I look at
a record label.
Yeah.
You know, and
But I think before we get
I
there,
asked you, I was going to ask about the regrets and the achievements.
yeah. So look, I think maybe in me not thinking about the hateful side of things, all right, is the fact that whatever that I did was from a political conscience part, all right, where it was about we are changing lives. When you look at what 999 was doing, how many people who probably couldn't have been employed anyway were able to go home and feed their families with whatever, it was about that. We were from the changes of 94, while politicians were bringing about change in society in whatever way, we were working with them as much as they don't recognize that, all right? Because we were creating jobs for this massive number of young people, all right, who would have been unemployed.
Highlights in the industry?
I've got too many, man. I think every artist that I launched was a highlight, because they're all different and none of them were kind of copycats, and I think achieving that as much as, the reality, and when we do things, there's a plan, yes, but we're doing music. It's natural. We're not saying that this is going to be a hit. I mean, a lot of songs that you did, you were not saying, I want to make a hit. You were going in, doing good music. It was fun and all of that. And whatever came out was good. And we go out and we see how it impacts people, So for me, there's more of the good that I see in the role that we play. That's why I label myself as a cultural activist, because if I was about the money, all right, I'd be a multimillionaire. Think about how many artists, how many platinum selling artists I've kind of launched in this country. So
huge.
And I must also say that one of the disappointments, and in my documentary, if I finally get to do it, because I keep postponing, I'll talk about it direct, and sadly some of my people are no longer alive. But there's this one artist that was a disappointment, because the record company called me back to say, we're struggling with this artist and his career is going down. Can you help us? And I went in to help. And this is a person that I also took from nowhere, when nobody even knew who they were. Nobody cared to a certain extent.
But they somehow failed you. That's what you're saying?
You know what they said? When I went to the studio and they were working with Direx, all right? First day.
Such talent.
First day, I went to the office. I was starting on that day to work, to report sharp. Now I'm going to the studio. I go to the studio excited. And this guy, and I say, Jens, how's it? Good. Been a minute. So I'm sure they've told you that I'm coming to A&R, this album, you know. That was not the only one. You know, I had others, but so this guy then says to me, and it's a black brother, he says to me, Mavusan, mamela nazi ikhiya zekari yami la ngaphandle ayongwashela yona. I'm telling you.
Are you going to mention the person or?
It's Mendoza.
Oh.
And I walked out of the studio. I was like, okay, sharp guys. I went back to the office, told Sean, well, you know, this is what your guy has said. I'm not going to be undermined like that. I'm not going back. All right. I was out. Got WHP, got back. We did Harambe, which basically broke WHP and all of that.
I don't understand this. That doesn't sound like Mendoza.
Listen.
Obviously, because I left him.
Please give me my phone. You guys will edit this part. Please give me my phone.
No.
I want to play you a song that when he was done and out, I got him and it was going to be released in 2010. And I said, you know what? Fuck you. Sorry. We're going to be going back.
Don't edit it.
No, it's fine. Yes, it's fine. I mean, look, you're going to be going to the other people who messed you up. All right. And you're still going to be giving them. I mean, I gave him a song, which was, again, I was sampling a song. This was after Nkalagat. To him.
Oh.
I said, look, I've got a song. No, I didn't release it.
But you have it.
Yeah.
I was going to release that song.
No. No.
No.
Do
they know?
No. Let me be honest. I don't care. That's the
said Vusi. Yeah. It was a Mendoza documentary.
Yes. Not documentary, a film.
Films.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't watch it.
TV series, yeah.
People were calling me.
Yes.
And they were saying, why are you not mentioned?
Yes.
And my question now is, are you mentioned in that?
No. I mean, I'm told that I also didn't watch it because, they called me when they were wrapping the shoot, like a couple of days left, to say, we would like to interview you about Mendoza. We're doing a Mendoza story. And for me, I was like, if you did your research, you wouldn't be calling me at the end, that you would have known where to start. Because even
Where was it playing?
On BET or MTV, somewhere there. Yeah. So it was for me like you would have if you did your research, you would have then known that where the name Mendoza, where it came from, you know, and all of that. So you're gonna be doing. So I said, no, you guys are not doing a film on Mendoza. You're doing a film on him too. You know, because yeah.
So me, I would have featured as part of that because I know.
Yeah.
Best Dolin in
Cole. Yeah, but yeah, because it starts with you, you know, big in Japan. So
I'm sure those people didn't see proper.
So yeah. I think you were too tall. You see, me, I was too short. That's why I only saw later. But look, man.
So, meanwhile, you're looking for whatever you're looking for. Ne?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Your role as the president of SAMIC, where to from here?
Yo, I won't lie to you. For me, it's been a disappointing journey because I was asked by different people, I think including yourself, you know, to accept the nomination.
Yes, I remember.
And I was expecting...
We actually campaigned for you to be the president.
Yeah, and I was expecting to be supported so that we can do bigger things and proper things. Because, look, I always say, because people are sometimes quick to say, yeah, arrogant or whatever, you know, but I think the work I've done in this industry, almost single-handedly, you know, in the people I've touched, the contribution has been massive. And for me, then being given a position where I could, sorry man, I don't know why I'm not finding this thing.
We'll do it.
So where I'm not.
You can see that song is not there for.
No, it's here. No, trust me.
No, but we've been pressing.
No, I'm telling you, it's here. Don't worry. It's called Big in Japan, and it has a story on its own. So basically, we never got to achieve what we were gonna achieve. And I think when you think of all the brains that are there, you know.
So are you in good terms with the family or not?
Where?
Mendoza family, because you sound like you are angry at the moment.
Look, I think I've done my part. You know, what I'm happy about, again, part of the question you asked me, you know Mdua's, you know his achievements, including from a family point, getting married and, you know.
And you are that person that is got that Lindelani thing about him, that you were hands on. Like
No, I was hands up.
Remember,
I was hands on, and look, I told him, for example, when I was signing him, I said, "What are your wishes?" And two of his wishes was, one, to build memorial stones for his grandparents, which is the maternal grandparents, to erect the stones for them, and tombstones, and to build a house for his mother and his siblings.
If they were to come back and which apologies on his behalf for whatever he might have done.
Look, I think
that would be distracting.
Coming from a Catholic background, which means Christianity, whether it was indoctrination or whatever whichever way you look at it.
Is that the song?
You forgive, you forget, because God took care of them. So this was going to be out in 2010. Mendoza had started penetrating Japan. And I did this song, sampled a big song, which is big in Japan, which the white people loved. Galawad. This was like a follow-up thing. Tonight, you know the song. I wanted to feature the lead vocalist of the Palotons. So I was going to feature the lead vocalist of the Palotons. I had already gotten the clearance from the original composers.
Okay. So, Vusi.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sir. Stop it. So I decided, sorry, can I say this? You remember A2, This is A2 influence. Chinese.
Yeah, I get
the Chinese.
Yeah, that is state.
That's why I started it like that.
Okay. My question is, you got this big song. To me, it's still a hit. And you are bringing back that Vusi character. You, I don't know, in English, man.
Well, sometimes
you get angry and you just walk away. Yeah. You know,
actually that's what I did.
Yes,
most of it,
and you still something.
Like,
but this song can actually help both of you.
Who?
The family and your what do they call it?
I was never legacy. I was never made by money. You know that.
Oh yeah, but it's part of your legacy. It's a beautiful song.
Hopefully, I don't delete it.
I can't delete that song. You're going to leave it.
Phones? No, it's not. I'll tell you. I had this song for.
What is?
I'm gonna. Yeah.
What is it?
No, I was gonna call it Big in Japan because the reason was one.
So since 2010, 15 years, anger, sugar.
No, it's not anger. I'm showing
15 years what took to in what
you know what's the challenge, Mafukate, is that people have undermined my role because maybe I blame myself trying to be humble or being humble, staying out of everything. Because if it wasn't, for example, such interviews, all right, people don't know what I've created, all right? And I say created, as much as people are going to be like, no, but how can you say you created? I was an artist.
yeah, they don't know.
The people don't know that.
Some people sometimes,
I've created songs. I've produced and co-produced almost most of the albums that I've released, and I've never taken a cent. I've never taken producer.
but give it to the family. You are not fighting with
I'll
the
think
family.
about it.
Yeah, but you're not
I'll
fighting
think
with the
about
family.
it.
We're going to canvas for this song, big in Japan. We're going to canvas for this song,
Yeah, but look, I mean, I think that time, I think it was going to be a smash because think the Pelotons were huge at that time. All right. I mean, they even had a campaign with, I don't want to mention the brand. Yeah, I remember the chicken brand.
And you never know.
And at the same time, Mdu was also, yes, things were not good, but I knew that the plan that I had for him, all right, amongst other things, I was saying, look, when we do this song, besides the fact that a lot of white corporate grew up on the song, so if they were crazy about Galagata, when this one, then we're killing them, all right? That means more money. Those were
issue was that
yeah, that's undermining. After what I did, and I'm being asked to come and assist you.
Just watch the guy.
So no, I've never sucked up to anything. So for me it was, but also for me it was when, number one, when the embassy in Japan, South African embassy in Japan, wants to celebrate, whether it's Youth Day or Heritage Day, with this song, they will think, who do we bring from South Africa? Mendoza. Why? Because he says big in Japan, he's showing kind of appreciation and, respect for the people. So the manual, yeah.
Since that song was done, which other big songs, hits did you make?
Cool.
Mandos?
None.
Wow. That's why, I know.
He was on ground zero. But remember where it started. I was in the beginning of that. I gave the name because it was Vusi Leeuw from Zola. We're not going to have another launch a new artist or brand and call it Mtu from Zola as well.
Family know that song?
No.
So we are privileged, basically.
You and
a few other few, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's a hit song.
Yeah. So, yeah. And look, if you think this was a hit, this is a demo. It was going to be even bigger.
It can be fixed.
We did this with...
there's something very funny about AI, ne? We can,
no.
We can pull those voices and mix and bring it back you want to bring.
And add even him and
no, you must do this song.
Yeah, but we also did with the chef. I'm forgetting him. He was also producing Pro Kid, Yeah, so basically that was going to be for me, I was trying to bring him back because he was down and out financially as well. And that's why I say you can see the plan was not even about we were going to get money in South Africa, but we were saying let's go more for the white corporate money, but also internationally in Japan, we're taking you there and hoping that we can sell this idea to the embassy in Japan, whoever would have been the ambassador at that time. But also the World Cup was coming. And Japan was part of the teams in the World Cup. So there was gonna be a lot, but I was like, next thing after I do this, you're gonna be showing me the middle finger again. Why must I keep messing up myself? There's a whole lot of other kids who will want me to assist them. Let me go look for. I've done my part with you, you know. Let me go find another kid. You know, I've been messed up by a whole lot of people, you know. And I always say, if I took that, that means I wouldn't have done as much as I've done. You know, maybe I would have gone back to corporate and, you know, maybe studied my LLB, you know, and went and worked as a lawyer. And just like some of the people we lost, you know, Abokopano who are in corporate, you know, I would have exited and go make better money.
I like that.
But be a person and be a proper capitalist.
Yeah, but what I like about what you said earlier on, you said for you it's not about money. And Vusi, I'm not enough with this interview. It's so amazing that we went over an hour and there's still so much that we haven't touched on. And I think we're going to request one way or the other episode 2 of Vusi Leeuw. I don't know what you guys think.
I'm gonna be charging for that one.
So Vusi said he will charge us for the interview, but it was great being with Vusi, and we are going to talk to the public to make sure that Big in Japan is released, and I'm sure the Spirit of Mendoza would love to see that song being released, and I still believe it's a hit song, and we are going to make sure as the Lifestyle League that we campaign for that song to be released because we believe in that song and we believe it's a big song. And imagine that song with the flavor of Kabza and Maporisanyana there, you see it's going to be a big hit. Thank you.
So, yeah, what I'd like to do is to thank you. I've already explained the impact, as much as you might not know. Yes, I was a graduate. Yes, I've got a mind of my own and all, but you trained me, long and short of it. I'd also like to thank Lindelani Mkhize, because the two of you, yeah, I know you guys fought over me. You forgot that part. So, look, he played a huge role as well. You know, like I think just for people and even the younger peoples, you know, there's always mentors. At that time, we didn't know those words, you know, but I mean, I was picked up by you guys as big brothers, and I was shown the way, supported, you know, one way or the other. Even today, I still get support. It's a whole lot of people there, you know. Since I've never had, and I might never have my acceptance speech. It's Kazi. So let me do it where I started. I started at 999. Let me do it from here as well to say, yeah, look, there's no one who's clever. And, you know, like they say, no man is an island. You know, I've achieved what I achieved, but look, a whole lot of people played a role. Some are friends, my family compromises, and you know all of that. But I know that people may not know that you actually, me understanding this business started with you, and then Lindelane, and there was Lazi as well, and a whole lot of other brothers, including your Sean Watson. You know, one thing I must say that I was lucky with those white people.
Sean
is those white people. Sean is like, okay, those white people gave me freedom. They believed in me. They gave me, they never, whatever that I wanted to do, they never said no. You know, they were like, you want to do it? You sure? You know? And I mean, I did. And I hope I assisted in our liberation, contributing to what we have today in terms of Amapiano, but also showing that Kwaito was something very special. It is going to be special forever. It planted the seed of what we have today. You can see from young guys like your Focalistic who still borrow a lot and they must clear. those runs. You know, I mean, even AKA sampled an other song, you know. So yeah, so there's a lot of things that people don't say about the Kwaito era. And we came in, some of us compromised being corporate heads, and we came to build. And I think we brought laughter and positiveness to a whole lot of people.
Hope as well.
Yeah, hope, you know,
We changed the face of the industry.
We used to
not just the music, fashion.
Yeah, we used to run with Abombalula and all these people as Youth League then were supporting. Yeah, but look, I mean, maybe if I come...
You are coming back, yeah?
If I come, then it will be about how I brought Tira into the game. I brought a whole lot of other people. But
for me, now you don't stop talking. We wanted to go into all these things. That's why I'm saying
like,
we have to have episode 2.
How do you cut reality, the real story? And that is a fact. Yeah.
Thank you, Vusi.
I played you exclusivity. So
yeah, that thing is exclusive. That thing is exclusive. I have to change. I did it by myself.